Good morning, this is Kayleigh Rogers. You're listening to The Morning Buzz on WHIT Radio.org. Good morning, I am your host Kayleigh Rogers. It is finally a Friday morning. I've been waiting all week for Friday. I'm so happy. With me in the studio is Mr. Pacino.
How are you, Kayleigh?
Yay. I'm very tired.
Very tired today, huh?
Yeah, I didn't get my morning coffee.
Okay.
But it is the last Friday of the school year. I'm very happy about this because that means after today, just 2 more days of school. Just 2 more.
Okay. And as again, Kayleigh's the last morning buzzer.
Yeah,
left.
Everyone else graduated.
Everybody else graduated. And Kayleigh will be back next year.
Yes, I will. You can't get rid of me.
Holding down the morning buzz, and hopefully we'll have a few other people joining her.
Yes.
And I want to start this show off a little differently, then we can go into the movies.
Right.
But I've been reading some disturbing reports this week, and we try to keep this show kind of upbeat, but I thought today, part of our purpose here at WHIT is to find things that, or issues or things that are going on that are just not right.
Right.
And try to uncover them in some way.
Like shed some light on the topic.
Shed some light on the topic. And there's a story, before we get into the story that I saw today, there was a story that came out, I think, in the beginning of the week about charities that are just not really charities. Mm-hmm. Very little goes to the intended audience or the intended people that need the help. Instead, most of it goes to the CEOs and the people that run the organization. And Charity Navigator, which is a guide on the internet to intelligent giving, rated the 10 consistently low-rated charities.
Ooh.
And these are charities that get poor ratings, meaning that they consistently perform far below industry standards and probably give very little percentage of what they receive to charities, to the people in need. And essentially they're just using people in need to line their own pockets.
That's not charitable
and that
at
goes
all.
on quite a bit, more than we'd like to know. So I want to give the charity Dishonor roll.
Yeah, let's start that one.
Let everybody know not to give to these charities. Number 1 on the list is Children's Charity Fund.
Wow.
Number 2 is National Veterans Service Fund.
Really?
Number 3 is Firefighters Charitable Foundation. 4 is Wishing Well Foundation. 5 is the Committee for Missing Children.
Oh my gosh.
6 is Shiloh International Ministries. 7 is Texas Stampede. 8 is Disabled Police Officers Counseling Center. 9 is United States Deputy Sheriff's Association. And 10 is the Wisconsin Paralyzed Veterans of America. So if you're giving to any of these charities, please do your due diligence, research these charities. Some of them are not even giving pennies on the dollar to these charities. They're
That's
taking
insane.
maybe 97, 98% of what you're giving, and they're paying themselves.
Especially if it's supposed to go towards like children, disabled,
Yeah, children or
especially
people
veterans.
with disabilities or veterans with disabilities, people that are in need and need the money.
It always it always really bugs me like when it kind of affects the veterans.
Yeah.
Because like some of them died and some of them were disabled and severely hurt trying to protect the rights that these men are using to avoid giving back.
What they're doing is just unconscionable and dishonest, and some of these people are making, the CEOs are making millions of dollars a year.
Yeah.
And people that are in need are probably getting next to nothing if they're lucky, probably getting nothing to do it. So they're basically a scam.
Yeah.
And you know, you can go on the internet and do a little research. There's plenty of charities out there that are worth giving to, but there's quite a few and growing that are not worth giving to.
It's sad that they are growing.
Yeah.
Like you were telling me about a story you found this morning.
Yeah.
About more like horrible things that are going on, especially with disabled workers.
And disabled workers are being taken advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
They're working in factories. They're working in various kind of low-level jobs.
Right.
And being paid sometimes pennies an hour. And they're being, the reason why they're paying them so low is there seems to be a loophole in the laws on minimum wage. And so these agencies are paying them next to nothing. And their rationale is, well, they wouldn't get a job anywhere else. They're lucky to have a job, and we
like if we weren't providing this job, then they wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, so we should be congratulated for offering them a position, because nobody else would,
Which is the kind of thinking that really lets people get away with this.
Right. Again, dishonest, and then what we try to do at WHATradio.org is kind of, in our own small way, if we can write some of the dishonest things that are going out there, the disingenuous things, the scams, people being taken advantage of in some small way, then I think our purpose is fulfilled for what we want to do here at WHIT. We want to entertain you. We want to tell you all the fun things out there and the fun things to do. But we also want to give you some of the wrong things that we see out there. And if you're listening to us, be aware of it. And just if you can do something, write your congressman, write your assemblyman, call them up. Even the president. These things shouldn't be going on, and they are.
Sadly.
Yeah, and. There's an article here, and unfortunately, this severely disabled do not have a voice. Nobody's kind of speaking up for them. But
like as a country, we don't really pay attention or take care enough about our elderly and the disabled.
Right. We have some issues here. We have some big problems in this country, and we're not the only country, believe me. We probably are doing better than most countries on this, but still, our disabled, our elderly, people that really can't speak up for themselves are being taken advantage of by greed. That's all basically it is, greed.
Yeah.
People making tons of money on these situations, and guys, if you're one of those persons and you're listening to me, there's a spot for you after this life is over, and it's not a pretty one. It's not somewhere that you want to go. Right. So change your course and help the people you're supposed to be helping. That's the story.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, that's the whole point here. So let's kind of change gears again. Let's get a little more.
Well,
unless you have something else you want to say.
Well, something that I'm kind of involved in,
right.
Badminton club over the summer.
Oh, okay.
The badminton club is actually kind of taking on the almost major opponent for us, which is the Oxford Badminton of Darlington, United Kingdom. So in the summer on July 24th, 9 a.m. to 2:30, we are going to be having a badminton game, which you all should go to. Right. I mean, I'm not going to be playing because I'm not that good at badminton yet, but I'll be on the sides. Okay. But it's actually pretty interesting because our field house is kind of like the number one place for badminton competition. So it's actually really cool.
Right, number one place, huh?
Yep, in the entire country. Again? I'm sorry?
Who runs the program?
Miss Martin.
Yes.
She's really cool. I kind of intern for her, so it's fun.
And this is an international badminton. They're from England.
Yeah.
They're one of the best, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they're coming to our field house July 24th.
July 24th.
At what time?
9 a.m. to 2:30. That's when the game is.
Try to be there. If you have some free time or you're in the area, stop by. We have a wonderful, lovely field house. And,
Yes.
Kayleigh, are you playing, Kayleigh?
Not at this tournament. I'm part of the badminton summer program where I come in for like 8 weeks. But for this one, I'm gonna be on the sidelines, making sure that everyone on my team is pretty good, is like good with like water and towels and stuff. Because I'm not that good, so
well,
it'd be bad if I played.
Well, that's great. You're supporting them like that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, as we know, if you've been listening to the Morning Buzz during the year, Kayleigh is a big movie fan.
Yes, I am.
And especially sci-fi.
Yes.
And she's going to give us what's opening up this weekend and what to see. Okay,
well,
Kayleigh?
some movies that came out today were Monsters University, which I'm so excited. I want to see that. Kind of like bring back some childhood nostalgia. One I want to try and get my friends to go see with me today, World War Z. Like zombie apocalypse. It's so cool.
Brad Pitt. Right?
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys seen the trailers?
Yeah.
They're so cool.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There's like so much action and it's like
Yeah.
I love action movies. It's awesome.
Action, Brad Pitt, and zombies.
Yeah.
You can't get any better.
And the end of the world.
Yeah, you can't get any better, you know.
Like it's fantastic.
Yeah. So.
Well, maybe if Angelina Jolie was.
Yeah. Right. Angelina. You need a little Angelina Jolie.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. Some movies that are coming out soon. The Heat, which is like a comedy with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy, which looks pretty funny. I think I want to go see that, but and I can because it's rated R and I'm 17 now. So yes, I can go see those movies. Another one is White House Down with Jamie Foxx and Channing Tatum. It's kind of like when a Capitol police officer, his main goal in life was to be working for the Secret Service, but he's denied, and then something bad happens because I'm not entirely sure because they're not being extremely descriptive with the whole explanation of the plot.
Right.
But the cover for the movie is Channing Tatum holding like what looks to be like a large gun with Jamie Foxx, who's going to be the president, walking behind him. So I think it's going to be like, it looks like an action movie, so it should be kind of interesting. Because Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx, they're both pretty good actors. And so I kind of want to see that.
Yeah.
Something that a lot of kids are looking forward to, Despicable Me 2 coming out.
What is it?
Despicable Me 2.
Despicable Me, okay.
Yes, this
What's
second
that
movie. Well, the first movie was kind of like this guy who tries to be evil, but deep down he's kind of a nice guy. Yeah. He takes in these 3 little girls who are kind of orphans, and he's like, "Oh, you're so adorable." And then he has these little henchmen that are just the funniest part of the movie. I just went to see the movie because of them. And it's kind of just like something like this again, like the like they're pretty much like they're making a second movie a year after it comes out because they know that a lot of people are going to be flocking to it again, especially little kids, because it's one of those like movies where it's like it doesn't really have that big of a plot kind of thing, but it's entertaining to watch. It's like that kind of movie. I mean, I'd probably end up seeing it, sadly.
We have to take a little collection for Kayleigh next year because we need a little budget for our movie critic here. You know, movies are not cheap these days. So,
no, they're not.
So
that's
send us
possible.
money.
Put a bucket out in the hallway.
Put the bucket out. And get our movie critics.
Yeah, we need these great reviews.
These reviews. Yes.
Well, something I've been seeing trailers for like almost a year now, The Lone Ranger, with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I've been seeing that for the last 6 months almost.
Yeah. And it's coming out July 3rd.
Thank God.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, when is it coming out? I thought it was coming out this weekend because I've been seeing more and more trailers.
Me too. So,
but the thing is, Disney is doing it, so I'm kind of...
What don't you like about Disney? It's too artificial, or
it tends to be too artificial. Like I saw The Great and Powerful Oz, and I thought it was going to be similar to like either like have some similarities to Wicked, like the books, not even just the play, or oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the name, with Judy Garland.
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz. I was kind of hoping it'd have similarities to either one or both, but it just seemed like the beginning. I was like, okay, cool, let's do this. Then as the movie progressed, I was like, this really is a children's movie. This isn't something I like. What's
Yeah, the Lone Ranger seems like it should be somewhat violent.
Yes.
You know,
I'm
and I don't know, is Disney going to pull that off? It could be
I
like
saw Johnny Depp look like that. I thought it was like going to be like this farce, or
yeah.
I mean, I couldn't take him seriously as Tonto looking like that. You know, I thought it was like Halloween.
Yeah.
You know,
like,
costume.
It's not yet rated, but I'm hoping it's at least PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least, because you have to throw an action in this movie, because just the story of the Lone Ranger.
Well, it's a fascinating story, The Lone Ranger. There was a TV series, there was a radio series, and the Cavendish Gang, I remember that they were on the first couple of episodes with Clayton Moore as the Lone Ranger, and Jay Silverhills as Tonto, and that was a really pretty good Western series.
Right.
50s. So most of the movies, most of the series took place in the same mountain range, but you know, they had this. I guess they had the same set in Los Angeles and just shot it from different angles. All the different gangs were hiding out in the same mountain.
The trouble always came to that.
Yeah, it came to that valley, you know, that ran through the mountains. But you know, they didn't have a lot of production, I guess, budget or whatever. But you know, if you look at the old westerns, they're pretty much the same set out in L.A. somewhere, you know, that they were all shot at. So, but
Kayleigh,
you know.
do you know the premise of the Lone Ranger, Kayleigh? Like, who is he?
Like for this movie or overall?
Overall.
Kind of like a man who's wronged and then tries to go back and fix things and has the sidekick Tonto.
Well, he was definitely wrong.
Yeah.
But he was part of what? Texas Rangers. There was a group of them that went out, including his brother, and I think there were 6 or 8 of them, and they were all killed.
Right.
And they thought they killed him. They left him for dead. I think some outlaw gang ambushed them, and they left him for dead. They thought they got all of them, but he was still living, and Tonto saw him just like laying by the ground somewhere, and he nurtured him back to health for a couple of weeks.
See, I didn't know that.
That was the story, and then he became an avenger for the Lone, for the rest of them, and that's why they call him the Lone Ranger, because he was the only one left out of I don't know 8 or so Rangers.
Like the plot for this movie, it's let me find it. It's kind of has action and humor in which the famed masked hero is brought to life through new eyes. Native American warrior Tonto recounts the untold tales that transformed John Reed, a man of the law, into the legend of justice, taking the audience of a runaway train, epic surprises, and humorous friction as the two unlikely heroes must learn to work together and fight against greed and corruption.
You know, the premise of the Texas Rangers, if there's trouble somewhere in Texas, it could be hundreds of people, whatever. One Texas Ranger is more than enough to put it out.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's how they feel. They go, if you're a Texas Ranger, you're more than enough to handle any situation. You know, so I forget the motto, but that's the way they feel.
Yeah.
So a lot of people say, well, how many people did you send? And the people,
Just one man.
myself, one person.
Just one.
You know, and they felt that way. But that's Texas for you.
Yes. Well, I have your box office just for how the week has looked. I'm not entirely sure about the weekend with these new movies coming out. Should be interesting to take a look on Monday. But number 1 is still Man of Steel.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Number 2 is This Is the End, and number 3 is Now You See Me.
But I imagine the Brad Pitt movie will be number one.
Oh yeah, that's gonna soar up.
That's gonna be number one.
I feel like it's gonna be World War Z, Man of Steel, and Monsters University.
Man of Steel, you still think will do well?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be number 2 or number 3.
All right.
Because a lot of people, like, I really want to see it. I still need to go see it. But a lot of people are saying it, like, giving it really good reviews. So I'm really curious right now.
Yeah. Well, I am too. I will be looking at the box office myself. And what's the weather like this?
Right now it's 70 degrees. Today your high is 80 degrees. It's going to be sunny, winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And your weekend forecast, tomorrow is going to be 82 degrees. The low is 68, so that's a nice in-between overall weather. Then Sunday, 84 degrees. The low 71. And for the entire weekend, it's going to be, like, kind of breezy, not too windy, not, like, no wind. So it looks pretty good, actually. Well, I have to skedaddle to class.
Yes.
So this is Kayleigh Rogers signing off for the Morning Buzz, the last morning buzzer, on WHITradio.org. And I hope you all have a fantastic day.